Alright, so this is the continuation of the series that I've been making about the Pythagorean Illuminati and their history, which is the actual true history of the world. This is the secret society, the oldest secret society that there is. And they still exist to this day. And they have come out in 273 books that they've written about everything that you could think of to explain the answers. So this is the continuation of their book, The Illuminati, which is giving a history, which has been outlined from it starting from the Illuminators that were sent by Abraxas, and Abraxas is the true God, the name of the true God, which is above the Demiurge, which is the world tyrant, Rex Mundi, king of the world, that is like enslaving souls, and like through religions, especially Abrahamism, which is Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. The Demiurge is in charge of keeping souls reincarnated here on Earth. And it's obviously been the Illuminati's noble mission throughout time is to free us, humanity, and so we can be one with our divinity again and escape the wheel of reincarnation, which will only be able to be done in a revolution, like a human revolution against the elite dynastic families that have enslaved the world for millennia. And the Illuminati have always been the ones that have been fighting against them, against the old world order. The Illuminati have been responsible for the revolutions of the past, like Enlightenment, and like in France, where they overthrow and actually chop the head off of the king. And it was the movement and purpose behind that was to actually overthrow the tyrannical governments that were oppressing people and religions. And that's how they got far enough of chopping the head off the king, but the revolution wasn't able to go worldwide, and that's what is going to be part of what they talk about in the Bible and Revelation and all that stuff. That's what it's coming down to, and definitely a lot more than that. But it's going to be people rising up to overthrow the governments, and having a good foundation of what the truth is going to be what is able to get people through the times that are ahead. And the Illuminati know what's going to happen, because this is the next context of existence that's coming in. But the old world order has to fall completely before something new can be built, like the phoenix. And that's like a symbol of what's happening right now. So religion is falling, politics is failing, and the economy is failing. So this is the fall of the old world order, and it's yeah, it's gonna definitely be a new reality that we wake up to, which is gonna lead to a Star Trek civilization. That is what is our inheritance, and so that's been my whole mission, is to explain what's going to be happening in the future. The tribunes of the people. And this is continuing on from, the lineage of the Illuminati, like being King Solomon, and then carrying on into Greece, and then finding Pythagoras, and then Pythagoras becoming one of the Grand Masters, and then the Illuminati, the Pythagorean Illuminati, who are the actual Illuminati. The first Grand Master was Pythagoras, and with him is everything is explained through mathematics, which the Illuminati explain in their books through ontological mathematics, or ontics, which is going to be what replaces the current paradigm. That's science, religion, and everything's being fought over, because the Illuminati hold the grand unified theory of everything about how to bring it all together, like science, politics, religion, economics, philosophy, psychology. Everything is in here. So this is giving the history of the Illuminati. One of the most influential struggles between rich elite and the people took place in ancient Rome. The Old World Order had made a careful study of this period, and it shapes much of their current strategic thinking. By the same token, the Illuminati also devote much thought to the example set by Rome, particularly since two of the prime protagonists were Illuminati martyrs. Ancient Rome, in its earliest times, was a monarchy. The Roman kings, like so many of their kind, degenerated into tyranny and were violently disposed. They aptly named Tarquinius Superbus, Tarquin the Proud, was the seventh and last of the unlimited line. Rome became an oligarchic republic, ruled by the Senate, an assembly comprised of male senators from almost exclusively the most elite Roman families. The republic was referred to by the letters SPQR, Senatus Populus K Romanus, the Senate and people of Rome. In effect, this could be translated as the rich elite and the ordinary people of Rome. And thus it is virtually every nation on earth, even now, power in the hands of the elite, and the people being pushed around like so many flocks of sheep and herds of cows on their way to the slaughterhouse. So that's just getting into how the system is ran the same way as Rome, and that's what we're underneath right now. And it's to rule the people by the elite, and that's what we're going through right now, and that's an enslavement system. So we have to rise up against the system that enslaves us, which we can't support democracy anymore. We can't support capitalism anymore, free market Zionist capitalism. We can't support the religions anymore, the main Abrahamic religions. And the Illuminati get into the Eastern religions too, and how they're actually more associated with illumination or Illuminism, which there's books on that too. But this is talking about Rome right now, and how it's ran the world. The Romans were ferociously militaristic. In fact, Rome might be described as nothing but a machine for waging perpetual war. Nearly all of the Romans' energy was given over to conquest in an endless cycle of wars, or squabbling over the plunder, or savagely fighting amongst themselves to see who would emerge as top dog. In a sense, the Senate was more like a military council, organizing the means for war without end. The Roman state was a well-oiled military machine, and most of the male citizenry served in the army for long tours of duty. Enormous amounts of plunder returned to Rome, keeping the economy buoyant. Food poured in from the conquered territories. Prisoners of war were forced into slavery, and they performed the majority of menial tasks. Some of these prisoners were dragooned into becoming gladiators, and then compelled to fight to the death for entertainment of the masses. Some were thrown to dogs, lions, bears, and boars as the alternative form of entertainment. Roman generals liked to bring back exotic animals from faraway lands they had conquered, and then display them for the mob's entertainment, usually by having them eat slaves alive. Famously, Christians were amongst those thrown to the lions, and chariot racing was the circus maximus was popular, accompanied by gambling, heavy drinking, and sometimes lethal violence between supporters of different chariot teams, most notoriously blues and greens. So this is getting into how it's the same thing right now, and it's the Roman days, and they do the same thing. I mean, I'm like living a parallel life right now, because I know that I had past life in Rome. I know that I've been part of the Illuminati before, fighting against the elite oppressors throughout the ages, which is actually shown in the game Assassin's Creed. And I know that I'm still in the fight, because this is what's still going on. We're still being oppressed. We're still being ruled by the hierarchy that enslaves us. And they being a gladiator too. It's like I've been a fighter, which is basically which is the same thing. And it's the same thing. Like you're just fighting for people's entertainment. What it comes down for, unless you're actually doing martial arts and you're fighting for like getting better and learning the art and experiencing that as a fighter. That's what we're experiencing, but it is a spectacle for the masses, unless you're doing it like where no one can see. So it's the same thing that's going on, and there's been revolutions in the past of people that have gathered together to overthrow the governments, but right now everything is underneath their control. But there is obviously always been a secret battle going on between the enslavement of humanity and the freedom of humanity, which the Illuminati are definitely spearheading that. In the modern day, we have the pop idol and X Factor auditions as our version of having victims eaten alive in public. No one gets killed, but the same savage instinct to see people destroyed is still there, as strong as ever. No decent person would watch these shows, just as no decent person would have gone to a coliseum to see human beings being torn to pieces in the name of entertainment. It's extraordinary how many TV shows are fantastically cruel. They love mocking and jeering at ordinary people, humiliating them and destroying their dreams. From their carnage, a few puppets with pretty faces, mediocre talent, no personalities, and nothing to say will be launched to fame and fortune. These are the darlings of the mob and their OWO controllers. The billionaire media moguls of the old world order love serving up this mindless shit to people. It keeps the people dumbed down, and it maintains cruelty at the heart of the body politic. The OWO are terrified of talent, justice, and respect being at the heart of our culture, because they would signal their own demise. They are creatures of hate that prosper most when hate is maximized, especially in wars, which they are always keen to wage. Now, this is like definitely outlining how they view, people like Pop Idol, American Idol and X Factor are shows, UFC, just the bread and circuses, the football, everything like that is bread and circuses. Yes, it's like competition and people are, but it's bread and circuses to keep people in a certain level of consciousness, which most people are in. They can only talk about, Pop Idol Factor or, the game. They can list off statistics about, sports and stuff like that, because it's part of the bread and circuses to keep people from revolting against the controllers. And it is the billionaire plutocracy that is up there with all the money, and just it is best shown in Elysium. There's like the ones that they're in space, they're all the elite, and there's the surface founded population, which is disclosure, because that's what's going on right now. So we have to ask, why are we not getting some of that? Why are we not going to the stars and knowing everything that's been held back from us? Which is what is going to as soon as all the mind control wears off and it gets so bad, there will be an uprising and a revolt against the way things have been. So that's what we're getting ready for. As for the Circus Maximus, we now have plenty of sports to fill that gap. Sports should be a reflection of human excellence, but it's increasingly just a cynical exercise in corporate branding, mass marketing, and ultra-capitalism. The stars are ridiculously overpaid. Their faces are plastered on billboards all over the world. They are part of the star economy that gives enormous riches to a lucky few while screwing over everyone else. The OWO stand behind most sporting franchises. They relentlessly exploit people's obsessive support for their favorite team. You can't get credit cards bearing the badge of your special team, and you pay extra for the privilege. What do credit cards have to do with sport? Why do people fall for this nonsense? Many people approach sport with almost a religious fervor. That shows you how far true spirituality has fallen by the wayside. Many men, week after week, sit around drinking beers, discussing the game. They have an encyclopedic knowledge of all of the statistics relating to their team for the last 50 years. Yet ask them about anything important and they will stare at you blankly or as if you are a lunatic. The amount of energy they devote to becoming experts in trivia is remarkable, as is the lack of energy they expend on doing anything significant in their lives. So this is just getting down to breaking down like how it's society is. It's like, what are you doing with your life is the question. And are you happy with what you're doing with your life? If you are content, that's on you. You're actually part of the Ignavi, which the Illuminati do refer to the Ignavi as the people that are in the middle, that they either don't know the truth or they know the truth and then they're they just don't want to do anything about it, which those are people like Cypher in the Matrix. And there's the Illuminati, there's the enlightened ones who know the truth and are doing everything they can to have a new world order be instilled on this earth, something new, a new political paradigm, a new economic paradigm, and a new religious paradigm, because that's what's all been held back from us by the corporatocracies. So they must be taken down, and held accountable, and that is only going to come through a revolution. The ordinary citizens of ancient Rome were anonymous and had little to occupy them. Some were shopkeepers, some were artisans, some were bodyguards, minor officials, and so on. Many didn't have meaningful jobs since the slaves performed most of the basic tasks. Hence arose the Roman policies of panem et circenses, bread and circuses. As long as the Senate could feed the masses and keep them entertained, the Roman mob was reasonably easy to control. So I'm just saying what I'm going off of reading and what I know of about what's going on with the government and how things are right now, because the same thing's been going on. It hasn't been changed. Like, it just they disguise it in like democracy, which is like a disguise plutocracy, because only the privileged people get in there, not the people that are actually supposed to be in there of the highest merit. And this has always been the problem that has been in governments, is it's been by privilege or people with the money, and there obviously has to be a way of handling that, and a meritocracy is the answer. So it's going to keep going the same way if we still support democracy. It's corrupted. So that's one thing we got to wake up to. And it goes over Panem circuses were obviously created in Rome. Give the people what they want enough for there not to be a revolt, which it's starting to get to the point where the government isn't able to do that because there's so much debt going on, and we're seeing it in the economy and everything that's happening now. And there's going to be something that they've been trying to prevent happening, like inevitably at some time. Like they obviously spend trillions of dollars on the technologies to be able to keep people controlled. So there's no revolt. If enough people knew about what was going on, that they were cattle, you know what I'm saying? Some people wouldn't even care. They would just be like, fine, as long as I have whatever, I'm good. But it is what we have to wake up to, and we are not cattle. We're actually divine, like creators in the universe, and the elite know that, and that's why we're treated as wretched creatures, slaves, and because they know we are gods and goddesses. Now the elite have TV, cinema, video games, iPhones, iPads, iTunes to keep the masses entertained and preoccupied, and junk food to keep them bloated and immobile. The mob have never been so easily to control, and they actually pay the elite for the privilege of being controlled. The song Perfect Game by the Thompson Twins has lyrics that are too appropriate. They don't know what to call us because we don't have a name, but they still know how to force us to keep playing the perfect game. So if you want to find out why you call someone insane, just sit inside the building where they're playing the perfect game. Isn't it time for a new game? Let's make the elite the prancing clowns. We've danced to their tune for too long. Enough music. It's time for the rebirth of music. It's time for the soundtrack of the revolution. And, these are words coming from the Illuminati. And they are obviously supporting a revolution against the powers that be, that enslave us. And, if you have a soul, you will hear the words. And you will hear what I'm saying, because they lay out every single thing that needs to happen. And they explain every single problem, analyze every single religion, science, a scientific paradigm, mathematical paradigm. It's all analyzed, and then they provide what they are and their system in these books, which is the Holy Grail, which is like the power to become God, which is the premise of illumination. And if you're going to become God, you're going to want to create, a perfect world, a good world, and that's what we can do as a society and civilization. And they know that, and they don't want us to think that. And they really have iPad, telephone, video games. Everything is made to keep people unaware of what's really going on. But we're waking up from that, and it's how we're dealing with it is how we're gonna react to it. We can react to it, which most people will, because it will shatter their world when the veil falls and what illusion has been created for them falls down. The ones that have been illuminated, the ones that have understood this is the way it is, are going to be much better, because they're going to either accept their enslavement or they're going to fight against the system that enslaves them. So they called about the perfect game. They talked about the perfect game, and that's what the OWO, the rich people, have been able to get us to play, and we're not playing that game anymore. And I'm definitely part of the people that are on the forerunners of taking a stance and being against this game that's being played with us, and out of the control of the religions, um, and the politics and the economy, the economics, by not supporting them and knowing what the answer is, which is meritocracy, um, social national capitalism, and illumination. So this is just going through Rome, and what's going on in Rome. The next section goes on more about Rome, because it does carry on through each era. The war that's been being waged for humanity's freedom, which is shown in Assassin's Creed, which is revealed in Assassin's Creed. Like that, the assassins are the Illuminati in the Assassin's Creed, going against the elite, and all the secrets they reveal in there are like the truth. So the next section is optimates versus populars, but that goes through how it was set up in Rome, which is the same way it's set up now, and it's optimates versus the populars, which I could get into that, but I'm going to stop right here. But this is the most important information in the world, because it's all put together so well and explained so well, like the truth, because they go through it, and that you're really reading the truth when you're reading these books. Like there's no speculation. Like it is what has been going on, and it's just going through all the information. It just brings back all my memories of lifetimes that I've lived, going through each life, doing the same thing in eternal recurrence. And that's what I figured out my unfinished business was here to do, was to overthrow the elite. You know what I'm saying? Overthrow the rich people. And I keep saying overthrow because that is the only way we're going to do it, is waking up to them, overthrowing them, knowing that there is an answer to the problem is key too, because the Illuminati explain the whole problem, and then they explain the answer to it. Through government, through political, through religious and economic means. Being the three main tenets. And once people see that there's a way, they will want that way. And the Illuminati have taken on this project of presenting that way through their books, which I have taken upon to do this Patreon, explaining them, and sell my books, and eventually be selling their books too. Like, and their books are cheap too, and you can actually get most of them off for free on the internet if you look. Like, but they actually do, they are on Everand, and you can go to my site, which is www.theimmortalskeep.com _, and I list out the Illuminati's books, because if you don't know who they are or who they're written by, you won't know that they're by the Illuminati. So I did that on my site, so people don't have to, so people know that every one of those authors is different authors, ghostwriters that are actually in the Illuminati. And that project is the most tremendous project I've ever seen, with 37 authors being banded together, writing about same things but different things. So I'm gonna end there, and yeah, until next time.